guys that just came in, I've been talking about the passing game, and I'll get to the gadgets. Part of this is more gadgets and screens and things of that nature in this talk. But in addition to the pass game, we'll do all those things. We will have the screens and gadgets with that. And I think we go about 2 per game. We like to get about 2 to 3 screens a game. We like to get at least 2 gadgets per game. I think everybody who saw all the bowl games, especially that Boise-Oklahoma game, will probably got their piece of paper out and said, hey, that's a good play. Let's write that one down. I know I did. Heck, that was the best 2 minutes of college football I've ever seen in my life. But I won't say his name, but one of our guys fell asleep with 5 minutes to go in that game. And we've been razzing him ever since because I think he's the only guy in America that did that. But when we look for gadgets, you know, Coach Miller's been a coordinator and offensive coach for quite a while, and I know he's got an array of gadgets throughout his career. But when we look for them, a lot of times we copy teams. You know, we'll get a whole gadget reel of all the gadgets that year or the previous year in our conference or in another conference or et cetera. Just get yourself a gadget reel and put it all together. And hey, and then bring them out from time to time. We will also carry gadgets or reverses and things of that nature. We don't always use them every game, but we'll carry it to the next week, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. Sometimes we've gone several weeks without one, depending on the nature of the game, of course. But that way you get more practice time with it as well. If you can, we always look on those gadgets or even a screen. Can we carry it to the next week if we didn't use it? That's the first question that we ask ourselves. Can we carry it to the next week? I'm not going to go into a lot of detail like I did last hour in terms of the pass game because I want to get some film time with you guys. But one of the biggest studies that I do or we do is self-scouting. I think you probably should double your efforts in self-scouting as opposed to opponent film. Opponent film is obviously critical and crucial for success, but I believe self-scouting maybe double that. I've learned over time as a coordinator and play caller to self-scout. What are you actually calling in the game? What are you putting into a game, and what are you actually calling a game, coming out of the game with? And that is something that you need to do every week if you're not doing it, because many of us, including myself, have gone in with game plans this big and have called that much. And we're all guilty of that. I know I am. So I've learned over time, and when I was a coordinator, I had a great staff of ideas. I mean, they were just terrific. And I was never a dictator. I didn't believe in that. I'm going to do it this way and that's it. I wanted ideas from our staff. And you got a lot more creativity that way. And I had a wonderful staff. We had a great staff like we do now. It's really a mirror image. But I wanted creativity with our guys, so I wanted to be. Now, I didn't use everything, okay? I mean, you got a lot of great ideas, but we didn't use everything. I always listen to our offensive line coach first and foremost. And no offense to the other guys, but that's where your passing game stems from. It's all about protection, 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 protection. If that offensive line coach was not comfortable with that protection, regardless of the beautiful route that was off of that, it was out. We just threw it out, and I just simply threw it out and said, hey, we're not going to do that. Okay? Some of those routes look good. It's like an ice cream cone, but we just couldn't use it. Didn't want to do it, put our guys in a tough position. So I spent a great deal of time on throwing things out. That's what I'm trying to get to. I think the key to coordination and putting a game plan together is learn how to throw things out. There's that fine line of how far in the week do you take something before you throw it out. But I know you know yourself, so over time you'll know yourself and understand what you want, and you'll learn when to throw them out. One thing I didn't mention last hour in game planning, I tried to get everything done by, we had a Saturday game, I tried to get everything done by Wednesday. Wednesday was the absolute last day, In fact, give the quarterbacks the game plan by Wednesday night, if I could, especially in the pass game. And that also made me limit what we did. Okay, limit and not put a bunch of stuff in on a Thursday before a Saturday game. Thursday was a shine and polish day, and there was never is a big word, but there was never really any new plays on that day unless it was something that was very simple that they could recall from training camp or the previous week. So I try to keep things simple as much as possible for our quarterback and especially our offense, and start with our offensive line. We're still growing at San Diego State. We went through 3 quarterbacks last year. We had 2 guys get hurt. We had to really simplify it because we had a freshman in there. And that's just part of the game. You fight those things. I know Coach Miller went through it last year. Hey, you want to get to a certain point. You want to run all these plays that you like that you've done in the past, but we just weren't ready to get there yet. We just weren't ready to get there yet based on our quarterback situation. So that happens. It happens in every system. It happens in every year, in every season. We are generally a big formation motion team. We use about 5 to 6 different personnel groups a game. We had a number of injuries on offense, so it really limited us to about 3 this year, 2 to 3 a game. We like to build that back up to 5 to 6 and keep everybody involved in the offense, as opposed to just one formation, one personnel group, and everybody else is standing on the sideline. We believe, or I believe, that if you get more personnel groups, you get more ownership of their football team, they have more fun during the week, and they want to produce on game day. They want to produce on game day. So that's something that we've done. Quarterbacks are I've also used all kinds of quarterbacks, and I've had guys with wide vision. I had Josh Heupel. For you guys, this will be repetitive for some of you, but I had guys with wide vision. They can go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to guys that can only go half the field or read half the field, 1 to 2, and have had success both ways. We all have systems. I've tailored systems to our guys. We did that last year based on who we had in the game, and we've had the same success. I've been in the power I all the way to the run and shoot and everything in between, and they've all been very good. I mean, you can't say one system's better than the other. I don't believe that. You watch all those bowl games and you watch high school games, and there's a lot of different systems, and there's many, all of them are successful. You can't say, oh, this one's better than the next. So I don't believe that, but you do have to have a base system to start with, no question about that. But you got to be able to be flexible, and based on who you have up front, based on who you have, sometimes you may have more tight ends than receivers, so you want to have 2 tight end sets, or you have better receivers that year, so you go to 3 wide sets. Things like that is things that we have done. We went from spread offense at Oklahoma to an I backfield slat with double posts and post corners on the outside, or curl routes. It's just simple stuff like that, keeping your smash route on the outside. Also spent a great deal of time trying to keep it simple and take it off the quarterback as much as possible with progression reads. Today, at our level anyway, I know it's at every level. Everybody wants to blitz and blitz more. What's the best way to blitz? What's a different way to blitz? And it's become very difficult for an offense to go 80 yards by dinking and dunking down the field. That's become very difficult and challenging, I know, at our level. And so you got to create ways of getting big plays. Number 1, 7 and 8 man pros, throw the ball down the field with 2-man routes with a guy in the dump, or gadgets and screens and things of that nature to get the ball and create field position for yourself. It's very rare a quarterback can go all the way 80 yards all the time. We found that out this year. Our offense was first at 80 quite a bit. But those are the things that we try to keep it simple. Trying to get pass patterns where there's always a built-in hot somewhere. You know, a lot of your quarterbacks you see on TV are pointing guys out. Hey, if these guys come, you got to go hot. And we have a little bit of that, but that's a whole different package, and you got to work on side adjusts. Over time, we try to work those out. Let's get rid of those side adjustments. Let's put a built-in hot somewhere or a shoot route for him to go with the football in case they come with the pressure. We got to some years, and we're still building that here, but we got to some years in Oklahoma we didn't have any side adjustments at all. We never worked it. We always tried to put a built-in hot somewhere. And putting patterns in where this side is good for the 2 deep coverages, and this side is good for the 1 deep coverages. You know, 2 deep or 0 over here, 1 deep over here. You know, this things of that nature. So cuts the field in half. They went single safety defense. We're going over here. So your slant shoot over here. 4 deep, 2 deep, 0. You got your double slant over here. That's an Indianapolis Colts favorite. So they're doing it at that level, trying to keep it simple for the great quarterback man. So those are things we're trying to do and build those things in so it's easy on the quarterback. We also try to do things like protections where we do double counts, and we, instead of like Peyton Manning, he adjusts everything himself. We're going to have our quarterback look over to the sideline, and one of our coaches is going to tell him which way to slide the protection. So it takes it off his plate. And I had a Heisman Trophy winner, Jason White, going into his 6th year that still needed some help. And struggled at times finding that blitz and where it was coming from. So we had him looking over. We double counted and we had him look over. And we said, hey, you're good, or you got to do something to change it. And we did it. And he's in his 6th year. So, and they felt good about that. You know, it allowed them to play. It will allow you to get younger guys on the field when you do things like that. Take it off his plate. We do a lot of progressions, trying to take things off his plate. Regardless of what they do coverage-wise or blitz-wise, we're going to get rid of the football. We have a 1-2-3 read, and if it's a hot situation, we got it built in, and let's get rid of it, which is what I'll continue to show you here. But anyway, those are the things that for the new guys that came in, I will show you this. This is kind of an interesting deal here. To make a long story short, I watched The Bourne Identity one day, and is it Matt Damon? Yeah, Matt Damon's in there, and he's an FBI guy. You guys know the movie, but he's in a restaurant with his girlfriend, and he rattles off. I guess he couldn't remember who he was. That's what it was, right? He couldn't remember if he was an FBI guy. He couldn't remember his past. So he rattles off about 6 license plates to his girlfriend, and she goes, well, how did you do that? He goes, I don't know how I do that. Because he couldn't remember he was an FBI guy, but he had learned it in the FBI. So I had taken that concept and trained our quarterbacks where these are called 1-second clips. They have 1 second to decipher everything in this picture. You know, I guess there's guys in the FBI that look at a picture and then they take it away and they got to describe all the colors or everything in that picture. And so what I did is I transferred that to the quarterbacks. The best way to do it is to put a camera right behind the huddle or close behind the huddle and a wide vision. Now you're going to see some clips on here, some old clips I dug out of some sideline. I'll show you what I'm talking about, okay? Have you guys seen that? Okay. You had 1 second to tell me what the formation was, the front, the blitz, and the coverage. Okay? You had to tell me all those things. But you only had 1 second to do it. So it teaches your quarterback to see the whole thing all at once. Now, for you new guys in here, if you do this exercise, when you start it, the first time you do it, they're all going to look around at each other. And they're going to go, what was that? And they may get the coverage. They may get lucky and get the coverage. But don't get frustrated with that, okay? By the end of training camp, they got it all. They got it all. They got the formation, They got the front, they got the blitz and the coverage. And all I want them to tell me is, was it a 3-man front or 4-man front? Was it an edge blitz, a cross blitz up the middle, or a safety blitz, and what the coverage was, okay? And they got it all. And it trains your quarterback, it trains them to see the whole picture very quickly. And I had that exercise going for the years I was there, and it was something that was really, really beneficial, I thought. And they enjoyed it. It made meetings fun too. You know, we had little contests, and whoever won at the end of the week or whatever, at the end of training camp got a prize. We couldn't give anything out, so don't get me wrong, but maybe it was a candy bar or something, you know. But anyway, I'll give you another example of it. Okay, so they had to tell me everything on that. Did you guys get that one? But now that's the sideline view. The best view is behind. The best view is behind where you can see everything. But sometimes you got to get one of those cameras where you can see the wide at the same time. You got to have the wide field. But I just change it up and get the sideline view. And see if one of you guys can get the next one. Just give me the coverage if you can. Tell me if it's a blitz or no blitz and coverage. Okay. Anybody get the coverage? Man free. There, you got it. Man free press, and that's something that, again, you'll learn to get it all. I will tell the story. We had a running back coach in Oklahoma that didn't ever do it. He was an ex-quarterback who had great vision, and he came in and got the first time everything one time ago. But anyway, let me get some pass patterns on. We'll get to some tricky stuff. But that's a great exercise. You always wonder how guys get stuff, and you never know, you know. Born identity is the one that... Okay. This is a pattern that I was showing these other guys earlier. Did a little spot route to continue what I was talking. We're running a little spot route up top. Okay. And what it is for the new guys is just a little route here. Okay, we're running an 8 to 10 yard corner route with number 2 receiver. Number 1's running a spot route, or kind of a sloppy slant is another way to describe it. And he's going right off the ass of number 2. He needs to get off right off his ass. And then we have a shoot route with number 3, or a whip route, a little swing route. Somebody asked me the question, one of the coaches asked me the question on the whip route, on the little swing route, is he showing the numbers? Yeah, he's going to show the numbers. You know, he's not going to get all the way where you see both numbers, but you want him to show his, you know, at least half his numbers so you can choke it down a little bit for the quarterback, give him a good throw. You don't want that whip route to be real fast, okay? And we have a little quick out on the backside, and that's his pre-snap read right here. He can pre-snap and he likes it. He's a little late with the football here. Then he takes the route. But you see up top, the question was asked, what are the alignments? We cheat those alignments. Sometimes that number 2 receiver is 3 to 4. Sometimes he's 5 to 6. The number 1 receiver sometimes is 1 to 1, or he's 3 to 4 yards here. Okay? But he's going to a spot in the zone coverage, or rubbing off against man and choking it down. Okay? Now, when we tell them, new guys, that corner outside is soft, okay, we just have a corner read. It's the easiest way, just the corner read. If the corner's soft, eliminate number 2. Eliminate the number 2 receiver right now. You just work inside out with your slant, with your shoot route. Just work that game, okay? Whoever number 2 is, eliminate it. So he's spotting up right there. You see him pull away there. This is a good example of the guy I'm going to show you guys in the previous. Good example of him feeling it, just kind of pulling away a little bit. Now, in the book, you'd rather him go to the next window, but this is just playing football, okay? That's an 8 to 10 yard corner route by number 2. The corner is soft, so eliminate him right now. Eliminate him. Just go 1 to 2 right there. It's a good little play. Now, this is a great area of the field to put number 2 on the post. A great area of the field to put number 2 on the post if that safety's overplaying. Okay? If it's a zone concept, we want to put him on a little swing route or a whip route, the number 3 receiver. Okay? But there's certain games where they play both man and zone, so we just kept it one way or the other. Could have been a shoot route that week or the whip route. We'll change that up. Okay? That quarterback now is hot on anybody on that side of the center. Okay? So anybody from the center over, he's hot off him. He's got to get rid of that ball, that shoot route. One of those all-purpose plays is hard to cover against anything they run. Doesn't matter what coverage. We'll go into this every week. It's a high rep play. It's a high repetition play. And after a while, after you tell your quarterbacks the reads or the progression, we don't say anything. We just tell them to play. Okay? Corners off. Corners off. Eliminate number 2. Just work inside out. 1 to 2. Good job by the receiver here. Okay, he needs to get tighter off number 2's ass. Not bad. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. If he spots it up, give me the football. Now he's got to get up the field, of course. Just give me the football. Okay? He's just playing pitch and catch, playing a little basketball. Quarterback, I think, got fooled here. I think he's going backside. I think it was a soft corner. He probably should have known it was roll all the way, but came back. Nice play. If that Mike linebacker, that backer starts to overplay it, they'll start to overplay. See him? That overplay, that slant, or that spot route, that's where you want to hook behind it with number 2. Either a post or just a hook behind it with number 2 and read it hook to the spot. Okay? This is your next step in this progression. See, if he starts to overplay that spot route, that's what they'll do. You can either hook behind it or take the backside and run him on a little slant in a 2x2 set. I think we're on top. Here's an example of a poor shoot route here, or a poor shoot throw. And that's a hard route to master. We always tell them to throw it to the hip. Throw it to the hip. Okay? It's a good shoot route, good flat route. He's turning on 3, but we throw behind him and he couldn't get more yards. This is a great example of why we have him on a little whip route or a little swing route. So he can get his eyes down the field. Okay, we get this thing down the field. Better if he throws it on that hip, threw it too high. Pretty good spot route. He felt the corner was off, which it is. Eliminate number 2 receiver right now. Just go inside out. What else do we have here? I'll get the screens here. Here's another one. And let's go into the corner route here. Just working a little motion, a different way to do it. What he's doing is he read the corner was pressed. Even though the safety's back there, the corner's pressed, he's going to work it. He needs a flatter throw. Not bad. Not bad. Probably a little flatter throw. It's more, it turns into a little out route, is what it does. You know, I like to take that ball flatter on that, okay? Anyway, that's the spot now. Let's get to some of the screens and stuff. Any questions about that? And just an easy three is what we tell our quarterback. All right. Now I got screens coming up, and I got our O-line coach in here, so he's about ready to talk. I know he's waiting for that. We like your simple tailback screens, okay? And where you know, just your we call them convoys, but just your simple tailback screens that's been 100 years old and still good today. And there's different ways to block it. You know, down the field, we always like to tell. And one of the issues we had this year is our tailback was getting out too fast for his lineman. So we simply gave him a rule, and something we did at Oklahoma. Your tailback needs to go out with the front side guard. Okay. I know they're counting 2 counts, right, Coach Einbach? They're counting 2 up front. It's a 2 count, and I know you teach your running back to count 2 as well, but we just simply said, you know how that 2 count goes. That 2 count can turn into a 3 count. So we just tell this is going to go from not as good to better on this tape, but these early examples are too fast. These are not the best examples, okay? Screens are always something I believe you need an extra period in to work those, okay? Just different. Different in your offense, you need an extra period to work them. We tell our quarterback on these to 3-step in the gun, settle, and then 2 more drifts and throw it. Especially in a 4-man front or the 5-man rush. And the reason why is when you settle on these screens, when you sit 1, 2, 3 and settle, it draws the rush. We want to draw that rush at the quarterback. So when we take it from the gun, or if it's 5-step underneath the center, when we take it from the gun, we want to go quick 3, settle, draw the rush, and then drift for 2 to the side of the screen. Okay? We want to try to make that a short throw. If it's not there, obviously put it in the ground. Okay? But we don't want to just, if it's just a 4 or 5-man rush, if we just continue to drop, then that rush will do what? They'll feel that peel out. So we don't want that to happen. Now, if there's a blitz situation, if they're bringing 6, 7, sometimes 5 or a zone blitz, we may not do that. And you might see the back at times is chip and go. Just chip, don't wait, especially blitz to that side. Just don't wait, just chip and go, and it's more of a drift and get rid of the football for the quarterback. Because if he settles on some of those blitzes, boy, they're up on him real quick. And he might not get the ball off. So it's more of a, hey, let's continue to give ground and give that football to the running back right now. Okay? Here's an example. He should have waited a little bit longer. We're blocking down the field, obviously, with our wideouts. I've done everything from having them block down the field to running off. Okay? Here's not a good example. We got a 3-man rush. That running back is way, way too fast. We also tell our guard, correct me if I'm wrong, Coach, we don't want our guard to turn like this, correct?
No, we want to block the protection for 2 counts, but we got to get out the screen and know that the back is relying that the first man out, the guard, is going to be the kick out. And right now, he's flying without any protection there, without getting the guard out in front of him.
Okay. It'll get better as the film goes. I want to show you these. What not to do. Okay. Guard's chasing too much. That front side guard's chasing too much. Now your center and backside guard are getting both backers, right, Coach?
They are. The first man out, whether it may be the guard or the center, he's looking to kick out the flat defender. Sometimes the guard will get tied up and the center may be able to get out, but usually it's going to be your guard. Your center is then looking for the backside light backer to seal that back inside, and your third guard, the backside, he's looking for any key lineman peeling to chase it down, and then he's looking for backside backer to get up downfield to get a second level defender. So you're looking for the flat defender, the inside backer, and then the backside for your general inside three getting out.
That's the general rule. Now, like all screens, you don't want to overcoach it, and that's his rule, but we tell him to get down the field and take the first color. That's another way to coach it, and throw. Try to get big on the ground, okay? It's hard for linemen to stay up and get those quick guys. We want them to get big on the ground, so we may not get the block, but at least those guys have to go around, okay? Receiver-wise, Coach McGann, you in here? He dished me, but those guys are getting the safeties down the field. Now, we had a guy at Oklahoma named Quentin Griffin. I don't know if you remember him, but we would get those safeties of those outside guys. Let me show you. Yeah, he's a little too fast here. We'll get better as we go. Guard's a little bit better here to stay square. You want that guard to stay square, but the running back's a little too fast. Not bad. Not bad. At least he gave that guard a chance to set his block up. Okay? Now you see our receivers running down the field getting those safeties. Now, oftentimes we'll run pass patterns off of this look. Okay? In other words, we'll call a pass pattern one of our favorite patterns. It could be with our tight end, running a crossing route. And sometimes we have him get the backside linebacker off the crossing route, okay? But we'll call a pass pattern off it, but run the screen with it. So they think it's one of our patterns. They're in drop, trying to get in coverage, and then we're going to run the screen off of that. So it's not a bad idea to do that. And we got that from, we had Quentin Griffin at Oklahoma, a little guy who was really quick in space. Well, we would block these safeties down the field, but you know how that goes. They don't show the pass very well, and it's like a draw play. You know, your draw plays, you don't show it very well, and then those safeties end up getting up there and making a play. Okay? He came to us one day. He's a real quiet guy, and he said, "Hey, Coach, can you just run those guys down the field and get the safeties off of me? I'll make them miss anyway." So we listened to him. We said, "Okay." So we just ran everybody down, including draw plays. We didn't block on draw plays. We just ran down the field and let him give the ball, let him make the guy miss. So, you know, we at times you get one of those guys and they just, you know, they allow guys to get in the way. You want to get your best screen guy in there, but this is a better example. Our right guard is staying square, and we want to punch and go. And Coach, you probably want a one-hand punch more than a two-hand punch, right?
You don't want to get too involved with the rush, because then they get tied up. They're getting tied up with the defensive interior guys. The tackles, we teach them pass pro all day. They're on their ends all day. We want to set it up just off of our drop back protection. So they're blocking their protection, their blitz rules for 2 counts, and then the inside 3 are trying to get out the screen. Here they run a little bit, and the center's getting bumped around, and
So they get bumped.
we only get 1 out.
Just pick a guy and let it fly. And our guard's not real fast here, and a lot of them aren't. So,
And you hope that they go the right way, that they know which way the screen's going. He's trying to, sometimes you got to put key breakers in there and trick the defense sometimes.
we just say, we tell our screens to get it started. How do we get it started? Our front side guard here is getting it started for us, okay? Whoever your guy is, the big thing about screens is just get it started, okay? Here's a big play for us. Here's a blitz situation. Happens a little quicker. Okay, see our quarterback here? We don't want him setting up and drawing the rush. He's already drawn the rush. They're on a blitz. Okay? Just drop back and give him the football. If it's not there, these are hard. You gotta rep these plays against all looks, because teaching your quarterback to throw the ball to the ground is not easy on these deals. Good job here by our guard. Just getting big on the ground, finding the first guy. Now he's turning a little bit too much right here, Coach. He's turning a little bit too much. We don't want him to turn. He's a young freshman. He's a true freshman, so we got a ways to go with him. This might be an example of just running the receivers off as hard as they can to the end zone and let the guy just get out of the back's way. We're going to run the blitz. We're going to drift. We want to drift to the play. We want to make as short a throw as possible. Okay. But here's our guard getting out. This is just a simple. Heck, you can even call it a one-man screen with your guard. Heck, I don't know what the backside is doing half the time anyway. I know Coach Heimdall doesn't either. So the important thing is get it started with your front side guard. Tell your running back to go with the guard. Go with the guard. Okay. Good job of setting his block up, and of course we get a big play out of it. And that's just at times we'll, I don't know if you guys have a scan protection in your scheme, but we will take that back. We will take that back. Let me show you here real quick. We will take that back and what we call scan them in some of our protections. In other words, we'll take them from one side to the other in gun, and that way it picks up all your blitzes. That's a whole different subject. But we'll work our screens off of that. So we'll take our back and run our screen from one side to the other. And that's always a good all-purpose screen because it can work against man coverage. Many times you don't like that man coverage in the screens because that back is right up in the line of scrimmage. You can't block them with a crack block or your front side guard or whatever, whoever that is. So we'll scan him across the formation and run the screen. That backside backer man coverage gets picked off a lot, okay? You can't get there. So it's always a good all-purpose to run your screen from one side to the other. Okay? And if you do block down the field, here's run some pass patterns off of it and get your good blocks. And there's one that worked out. Our tight end's making a nice play here on the block, staying square. Big guy. Pretty good, decent time, could be a little bit better. Just get the thing started. About 5 minutes ago, wrap it up here in a minute. Get the thing started. Teach your guard to go flat.
Always tell your offensive linemen that there's a reason they have an ineligible number. Most times, the guys that are going to block have smaller numbers. They're a little bit more athletic than them. So it's okay to go cut downfield. Don't worry about squaring them up, making a perfect block. Just throw on them, make the defender avoid you. There's no way he can make a tackle when he's worried about a cut block coming at him.
Get the next screen. Here's another wide receiver screen we use. It's one of our favorites. Again, it takes some work. The big thing there is now we're using the tackle. These are your middle wide receiver screens. Now we're using the front side tackle is getting it started. He's our starter. And we want him flatter down the line of scrimmage, okay? One thing you can do is put a cone out there, put a cone in practice and get him flat down the line of scrimmage. At times, you'll see we're not flat enough and we'll lose the guy. We'll lose that guy. We got all the good ones here, but now we tell our quarterback here, it's more, Coach Miller is more of a drift. It's not a set and throw deal. Okay, it's more of a drifted back in the pocket. You want to play around with that, but you might be able to get away with a 3 or 4 man rush of a set and then drift to it. Okay? This is your middle screen, and we're just Same concept, right, Coach Heimbach, just getting our guys up the field throwing, right?
Trying to get landmarks of where they're going, tackles, play side tackle, getting him out flat. And then it's really a spacing screen. It's a quicker screen than your tailback, drop back screen, where you want to get him out, get him in space, and get rid of the front line defenders.
He's getting that number 2 defender, but that's actually, he's up around that. We're gonna get our tackle on that one. We've done everything by, you like your running back away from it. Less defenders over there. Here's one of the better ones we've had. Tackles punching and going. Try not to give it away and get flattened. Got 2 guys on 1 guy. That receiver should be up on the safety here. The same concept. When you get down the field, throw. Throw. Lineman, yeah, that's exactly. Here's one we use. And sometimes we use this. This is a nice concept for us because we use it off our run game. Okay. And all it is your 3 wide receiver screen. It's best with 3 to one side. Here we have a little fake off of it to hold the back of the Mike linebacker and the Will linebacker. And this is where I'm running everybody else. We tell our number 2 receiver to show the vertical release, at least a hard 2 steps. Keep your shoulders low and pump your arms. And the big blocks are the number 2 receivers, number 3 receiver is the big block. And the number 1 receiver is the next biggest block. Okay? I actually call this here, which I question, but that's all right. And, okay, we've done everything with our linemen in the past, given rules. We've finally settled on just, we call the run off of it. So it could be zone to the left, let them block zone and just work it outside. Okay? Sometimes when you give rules and you give them safety rules and et cetera and bring them out into the screen, they bring guys with them, it's not as good a play. Screens are 4-yard plays for us, okay? Don't get caught up in it's got to be 10 yards or more every time. Treat it like a run play. You want 4 yards on it, you've accomplished your goal of getting that defense running, that defensive line running, okay? And it gets it off, it's an easy completion for your quarterback to build some confidence. Here's an example of, I don't know if we call it run play off of this or not. Yeah, here's the zone off of that. And we also use bubbles off of that as well, off our run game. We tell our quarterback, if you like it out there, you have numbers, throw it. If you don't, hand it off. If you get a blitz, throw it. Okay? Obviously, best against zone teams. If you get man press teams, not as good. Man-to-man team. You really got to show it outside. Really got to show it outside. Here's we got a tackle counter up front. Got a tackle counter scheme up front. If you liked it outside, we had numbers. That you got to the guy that gets it started is this guy right here, that number 3 receiver. He missed it, but at least he pinned him inside. That's the guy that gets it started. That's the big block. Just get it started. Don't worry about anybody else. Just grab and throw the ball like you're turning a double play for your quarterback. Just turn a double play. Okay? I know I'm speeding through this, and we got reverses and stuff like that. Some of the things we use. I've run out of time. One thing on the reverse. Let me show you real quick what we tell one coaching point here. We tell are we flipping this one? We tell our quarterback, and there's many ways to run a reverse. We want our quarterback Anytime we reverse the ball to a wide receiver, we want him flipping the ball. Okay, that's the one point I wanted to make. We don't ever hand the ball off to a wide receiver. We want to flip him the ball because we feel like he never gets handoffs during the course of the day. He's always catching the football. Okay? And he doesn't know how to do that. And you know how many times you probably had some guys fumbling by doing, which way am I going here? So we just have him coming in like he's catching the football, but his hands are down low, and we actually toss the ball on all reverses because that's what he's used to doing as a wide receiver. Thanks for your attention. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
10-minute break. We'll start it up again.